It is no secret that the gods and kings of legends and lore have all been connected to underwater cities. How were these civilizations formed during an age in which tools of man could hardly employ such handiwork? And why do ancient engravings resemble alien astronauts? Could it be that these lost civilizations are proof that we're not alone? So on today's episode of What Lurks Below, we're going to look into 7 mysteries surrounding underwater aliens of the deep. Number 3. The underwater ruins of Lake Titicaca. Located between Bolivia and Peru lie the largest lake in South America, Lake Titicaca. Here, the framework of ancient civilizations such as where the indigenous Tiahuanaco thrived, followed by first the Puraka people and then the Inca. As legend would recall, a number of islands around Titicaca play a fascinating role in Inca mythology. First, the Isla del Sol, which is known as Sun Island, was home to the Incan sun god, Inti, as well as the birthplace to Manco Capac, the founder of the Incan dynasty. According to lore, the leader was summoned from the deep waters of the lake by the sun god Inti, and carrying a golden staff, his instructions were to build a holy temple of the sun on the exact same spot in which the staff met soil. While underwater investigators determined that the Tiahuanaco built the temple prior to the arrival of the Incas, the origin stories are still closely linked. Today, the submerged sacred site lies in sand and shrouds at the bottom of Lake Titicaca. Surrounding it are fragments of a megalithic metropolis denoting paved roads and walls. Large sculpted stone heads line the lake's foundation among 10,000 other artifacts, such as ceramics, cooking utensils, human remains, animal remains, and gold. According to alien theorists, the bottom of Lake Titicaca plays host to an ancient city built by otherworldly visitors. This was a time when our friends from space held very powerful roles and helped instruct the direction of mankind. Here transpires the link between other creation myths in that UFOs and alien gods ascended from water, created mankind, and soared away with the promise to return one day. Now, many sources report lights coming up from the waters of Titicaca, and locals swear by strange spacecrafts which enter and exit the lake, as if the gods have kept their promises all along. Number 2. A city under the Pacific. In an area deemed disastrous by Japan, looms a lair so mystifying it's known as the Dragon's Triangle. Similar to the Devil's Triangle in Bermuda, both host a superhighway of unidentified alien activity. Sightings are reported by the number, planes vanish into thin air, and tragedies date back as the year 1274. With one famous case involving a crew of 40,000 under the command of Kublai Khan, the 5th grandson of Genghis Khan, gone missing without a trace. What links these two aquatic anomalies is that each lie on one of the 12 vile vortexes patterned around the Earth. Within these magnetic force fields, a plethora of disappearances and unexplained phenomena plague history. What's more, both triangles lie in exact opposition from one another on either side of the planet once a month on the 24th, parallel to north. A highly debated phenomena lie in ruins at the bottom of the Japanese Sea. Just off the southern coast of Okinawa, a 10,000-year-old structure is believed to be man-made by some and a natural marvel by others. Accidentally swam upon by a diver in 1995, the man reports being awestruck at a sunken display of monolithic blocks. Upon deeper investigation, oceanographers have uncovered a massive arc revealing a stone gateway which fits perfectly together. Further carvings, crossroads, streets, and grand staircases lead to plazas embellished by towering pylons. A marine seismologist by the name of Masaki Kimura points out markings that resemble human handiwork, particularly using a wedge-shaped tool called a kusabi. Although these features are seen in natural sandstone settings elsewhere, the juxtaposition of the unusual formations and 90-degree angles appear purposeful. What's fascinating is this manner of masonry is similar to the underwater Inca cities found in South America. Today, scientists insist that ruins are part of a 10,000-year-old ancient city that existed when water levels were much lower. Another discovery found in relative proximity to the Okinawa spectacle, the single largest underwater edifice discovered thus far. Off the eastern coast of Yonaguni, approximately 100 feet below water, is an ancient structure 240 feet long, 90 feet across, and 40 feet high. But what is it? The findings resemble early buildings found on Okinawa, such as the Nagaguki Castle. The more oceanographers study the two sites, the more they speculate the discovery of an expansive city left sitting in the sand at the bottom of the Pacific. Built from granitic sandstone, there are a series of burial vaults which the Okinawa called moe, the same identification used by Polynesians of Easter Island. Over 6,000 miles away, when naming their famous large-headed ancestral statues. Then there is the Japanese legend of UTSURO-BUNE. In 1803, fishermen witnessed a boat wash onto the shore. It was a dome-shaped vessel with windows aligning the top and shiny bands below. Out stepped a beautiful woman clutching a mysterious box, speaking in tongues unknown, and adamant in keeping the contents of her box a secret. The story of the time relay foreign inscriptions on the side of the craft, similar to those allegedly scrawled along the ships found in Reldesham Forest and Roswell incidents. As myth goes, the box held another form of alien intelligence, a brain of extraterrestrial enlightenment meant to be a peaceful gift to ancient Japan. Even Japanese art denotes mystifying remnants that render alien forms. The ancient dogu are humanoid figures with large bulbous eyes and heads, like astronauts' helmets. The dolls depict a suit-wearing being with elongated heads, huge almond-shaped eyes, and a disproportionate head-to-body ratio. What's more, the dogu artifacts were meant to represent the gods. Number 1. Atlantis. Under the waters of the elusive Bermuda Triangle is speculated to bear remnants of the lost city of Atlantis, a massive island in the midst of the Atlantic. Atlantis was positioned at the mouth of the Pillars of Heracles, more commonly known as the Straits of Gibraltar. Detailed closely in two of Plato's texts and said to have existed 9,000 years before his time, the lost ancient city was a prime utopia for the ideal state of life. Guarded by gates, towers, and a wall protecting each rung, it was a city fit for gods. Gods such as the Greek god Poseidon, who was said to have ruled there. According to Greek mythology, Poseidon was an electrifying figure of unearthly power who rose from the depths of the ocean. In doing so, he fell in love with immortal beauty and built the city of Atlantis in order to be with her. In time, the island citizens degenerated within themselves to become a spiritual, less and ugly group of people. Other stories speculate the city used energy crystals as power, yet some abused the privilege, and a whole civilization was subsequently cursed. Their punishment? Doomed by Zeus and the higher powers of the sky to be swallowed by the sea. What's fascinating is that Greek myth renders its gods as bronze islands which continually fell from the sky, and Atlantis too was depicted as a bronze island floating in the center of the sea. Ancient alien theorists wonder whether the lost city sank or whether it lifted off and flew away.